We also went through this tensor product of representations. Okay. If you take two irreducible representation and take a tensor product, sorry, this notation I have to put the circle on it, which I did not put. So, the tensor product I explained in the last class, right. I took a 2 cross 2 matrix, another 2 cross 2 matrix, and then we did the tensor product. What was the dimension of that matrix? If you had a matrix L alpha cross L alpha and do a tensor product with the matrix L beta cross L beta, this will give you a new matrix with dimension L beta, and it will be always a reducible representation. Okay. It will always be a reducible representation. Another way of using this tensor product is that vectors are the fundamental objects in nature, observables, fundamental observables. Of course, scalars is also one observable. Vectors are the basic observables. So, if you want to look at these tensor products, I said this in the context of saying that you look at xy coordinates of the particle 1 and xy coordinate of the particle 2, that is what I was saying last time, right. When I do tensor product of two particle system, I take 2 cross 2 matrix acting on the xy coordinate x1 y1, the other one acting on x2 y2. So, you can start looking at tensor products and look at what will happen to those reducible representations. How to break this? These are the basis states, right. Okay. So, this is what is the, and once I do this, to start with, this one will operate on a L alpha cross 1 basis, this one will operate on a L beta cross 1 basis, this one will act on a, okay. So, let me say here it is x1, x2 up to x alpha, L alpha, y1, y2 up to y L beta, right. What will be this? I said that when you do a tensor product, take the first one and multiply everything. So, what will this be? L beta, and then x2 y1, x2 y2 and so on. Okay. That is why it will become okay. So, this is the vector space on which L alpha L beta dimensional vector space on which these reducible matrices will act. Okay. So, here what were we doing? We said that there is an S matrix which can, it is a reducible representation, means that there is an S matrix which will bring it to a block diagonal form. So, this notation summation over alpha, technically I should have written it as a summation over, direct sum over the vector space. What this means is that you all know by now, it will break it up into block diagonal fashion and whose dimension totals up to L beta. Some of them will be a subspace depending on what are the allowed irreps of your group symmetry. Is that right? So, it is like you can take two particle systems, okay, and we will do that explicitly, and then when you do that the vector space gets bigger and it is a reducible vector space. Finally, I have to, because these are like this block diagonal, this should also break up into pieces, okay, such that each block diagonal, suppose this was let us say 2 cross 2 matrix. So, this should have two bases, okay. So, let me call it as some C1 and C2. Suppose this was 3 cross 3, suppose, then there will be a D1, D2, D3 and so on. So, you break it up into pieces, but what will C1 be? C1 will involve, it is an S matrix acting on this, because the diagonalization is done by, okay. So, which means S, when it acts on this, what will it do? It will give you some linear combination. C1 should be some linear combination which belongs to this block diagonal and so on, right. This is what you will eventually achieve. And what does these blocks mean? I can work with these blocks. I do not need to work with a big matrix, only thing is I need to know them. Clear? So, now we will do an example where this will become clear. Okay. So, gamma alpha cross gamma beta is a reducible representation, and characters, of course, when you do a tensor product of two representations, it will be the product of the characters. This also we verified last time. And remember these, these identities or from the great orthogonality theorem where we have derived, this will give you the multiplicity of an irrep alpha, gamma alpha, how many times it occurs in the reducible representation. Okay. Okay, so this I will skip for the time being, I will come back to this. Let me get to an example. Okay, so I have already given you a fact that if you have a reducible representation, the dimensionality of these matrices will also determine the dimensionality of the vector space on which these matrices acts. Okay. Besides finding the multiplicity of each irrep, can we find the invariant subspaces? By invariant subspaces I mean this subspace and so on, okay, and determine these basis vectors. This basis vector is trivial, but I want to find out which linear combination belongs to which irrep. Each one is an irrep, I want to find which linear combination will be an irrep. Clearly, these involves product of two bases, two primary bases. Two primary bases are involved, right? Tensor product, this has one primary basis, this has one primary basis, and this state involves binary basis. Okay? Some linear combination will give me the correct binary basis on which the same irreducible representations of these characters will act. Okay. So, we will get to this and we want to understand what linear combination gives you C1, which belongs to that vector space, is the vector space on which this irreducible representation acts. That is what we want to understand. It is not new to you. You have done projection operators in your XYZ 3-dimensional space, right. Suppose I say that the vector space is 3-dimensional, let us take XYZ. Okay. I want to project this to some A times. Okay. So, let me call it as ABC. What is the meaning of this? It has a component A along I hat, B along J hat and C along K hat. This is the meaning of writing it in this column. And if I want to find what is the projection operator along X, what is the answer you will get? You have to get A, right. This you know, projection operator is basically take a dot product with I dot j will be 0, I dot k is 0. So, you will get the projection operator along x direction will give you the component A. How do I do it in the matrix? I just put a matrix. This is the matrix representation for the projection operator in your conventional 3-dimensional vector space to project you onto the x component. What is the rank of this matrix? It is 1. So, the corresponding non-trivial basis which you can find depends on the rank of the matrix. So, that it will be 1-dimensional vector space. This projector will give you a 1-dimensional vector space. Is that clear? So, similarly you can write just like the way I have explained Px, you can do it for Py on the projection operator, which will also be having a rank 1, but it will give you the y component. Px multiplied with Py has to be 0, right. One is projecting onto the x component, another one is projecting onto the y component. So, projection along x once you have done, if you try to do projection along y on that, it will be 0 because there is no y component. So, Px, Py is 0, Px squared will also be Px. Okay. So, those are the properties of your projection operator. Why am I doing this? I want to find a projection operator. Instead of writing it like this, I want to find a projection operator which when operates on this basis, the projection operator is going to be for different irreps. I want to write it so that I can pull out the C1, C2 for a specific irrep projection operator. Just like your x, y, z are the 3 projection operators which I am going to write Px, Py, Pz. Typically for any group, I will have irreps, I want projection operators for each irrep. Okay. Okay, so I am just proposing a projection operator for a specific irrep gamma alpha, where this depends on the dimensions of that irrep. And as I said, many of these characters could be complex sometimes. So, in general the great orthogonality theorem, it is better to use one of them to be a complex conjugate. Okay. So, this is the definition of your projection operator. So, take it as a definition. So, projection for the, suppose I want to write what is the projection for PA1 using this. Let us get to the, so let us do this for the conventional permutation of 2 objects. So, using this expression, A1 is a 1-dimensional irrep. So, you will have 1, order of the group is 2, let us do it for the C2 group, okay. Order of the group is 2 and characters are A1 has character 1 and 1, it is a unit representation. So, let us write that. Okay. So, I am not going to write what this gamma reduced is, but let me write this explicitly. What is this going to be? Half of okay. Yeah. What will be the projection operator for A2? No, B1. Why B1? Because the principal axis has negative eigenvalue. So, this will be so the character is 1 and minus 1. Okay. So, these are the two projection operators which I could write for a reducible representations, and how have I constructed the reducible representation? I have taken some L alpha cross L alpha matrix multiplied with L beta cross L beta matrix. So, let us take as a simple exercise. So, let us take B1 cross B1. So, if I take this B1 cross B1, then I will have, so let us say this is a one dimensional basis, I will have it to be AB, and then I want to do AB, okay. What is the definition of B1? The basis is A on it. What is the meaning of it? What is the meaning? B1 on A, the corresponding element. The irrep corresponding element which is C2 on A will be minus of A. That is the meaning of this, right. So, now you can try and do these projection operators on this and see what you get. Okay. So, it will operate on AB, the reducible one, and the reducible one is also 1 cross 1 matrix only, no change, right. So, you will find it to be, which is AB, and this will be a minus, and then you will see which one will survive. Which one will survive? Is that right? Whatever I have written it for A, the same thing happens for the B also, right? C2 element on B is minus 1 times B. So, use this fact on this projection operator If you do that, then what you see is that this tensor reducible representation of C2 will cancel with the, does it cancel or does it not cancel? Or equivalently what I am saying is, if I take B1 times B1, it will become, characters is also going to be multiplicative, right. Character of B1 times B1 is, what is that? Okay. So, I am just trying to see from this that B1 times B1 is A1. So, you cannot get a projection of AB on the B1 representation, but you can get it on the A1 representation. Yeah, someone was saying something, minus sign. It's fine? Yeah. Yeah. I am just showing it in a shorthand notation. Technically it is gamma, the irrep alpha. Which one? Here also it should be a gamma B1 cross gamma B1. This is what I am writing here, right. Take one irrep, multiply with another irrep, that is all I meant as a shorthand notation. It is a tensor product, yeah. Did I not put a tensor product? It is tensor product, yeah. So, the tensor product will act on a basis which is AB, that is all I am trying to say. This is a 1 cross 1 matrix, it will act on a basis which is a binary, it is not even a basis, I should say it is the reducible vector space, because just like here it is x1 and y1, if it is B1 it is a one dimensional vector space, one dimensional vector space. I just take that and the tensor product matrix should operate on that binary component, not on the, and I am only seeing whether the binary component, does it belong to B1 or does it belong to A1. You just get only a one dimensional vector space again. I am just trying to argue the characters also multiply. If you just multiply the characters, what do you get? Characters if you multiply, do you get A1? A1, B1 times B1 will give you A1, and then you can also show that the projection operator PA1 on AB will give you plus AB, but PB1 on AB will be 0. This I will leave it you to check, please check it, it should happen. So, please check this if, in case you have not checked it. So, what does this tell me? That I took the two irreducible representations which are one dimensional, I took the tensor product of those two irreducible representation, it will give me a binary basis, okay, and that binary basis, does it belong to A1 or does it belong to B1 is not clear to me. I introduce a projection operator and just blindly apply the projection operator on that binary basis. If it gives me 0, that means it does not belong to its subspace. If it gives me non-zero and it is a one dimensional, so it gives you just AB. So, this means that this reducible representation turns out to be, it is a very simple exercise when it is L alpha is 1 and L beta is 1. It is again one dimensional, okay. But I do not know whether this one dimensional is going to be B1 or A1. For this two element group there are two possibilities, and I am using that projection operator to say that that product element or the product basis which I am going to get belongs to B1 and not, sorry, belongs to A1 and not B1. So, what have I shown here is that the shorthand notation which typically people write is B1 cross B1 will give you A1. Okay. So, the character, so I am not writing gamma subscript B1, many times they write only the Mulliken symbols. So, if you take product of these two, you will get an A1 basis. So, the basis of B1, if you just put it together, it belongs to A1 or not to B1. And another simple way you can see in one dimension is that the product of these characters will be this. So, now you can blindly write A1 cross B1 will be what? A1 cross B1 is B1, is that right? So, these are things which A1 cross A1 is trivial, that is going to be again A1. Okay. So, if you had a binary basis, sorry, let us say that the basis was here, let me call it a C, and here I will say A as the basis. Okay. So, let me call C1 comma C2, A1 comma A2 are the basis. So, this is the primary basis. Okay. Binary, you can take combinations of C1 with itself, C2 and C1, if you multiply, C1 multiplied with C2 will be what? It belongs to A1 cross A1, but you know A1 cross A1 is A1. So, the A1 will have C1 C2, C1 squared, these are the possible bases for the binary basis. Similarly, if you come here, what will be the basis, binary basis possible? We have already seen that A1 with B1 will give you B1, right? Did we see that? A1 with B1 is B1, right? So, can you tell me what will be the basis? You will have A1 C1, A2 C2, all possibilities, but you cannot have A1 A2, you agree? A1 A2 can go here. Why it can go there? Because B1 times B1 is A1. Clear? Taking the simplest example to explain it to you.